Dear friends, after listening to today's story, I promise that you will go away after learning a very good lesson. My name is Abod. My wife had never been seen by any man till date. Maybe this was chastity, that she was very beautiful. When I used to come to the room, she would be busy doing prayers. I would be very happy. Allah has given me a very noble wife. As long as she continued offering thiyas, I used to sit near my old mother, who had been alive for many years, paralyzed, but I was very surprised at that time when mother used to say in direction that to divorce the wife I used to be upset with. My mother saying, "You got such a caring daughter-in-law, now what else do you need?" One day when I came home from office, I saw that my wife was offering namaz. Again I stood beside her to give her a surprise, and as soon as she attended salam, my mind was blown away. My health was a little unrhythmic, that's why I closed my grocery shop and came home early today. Now I was married, and my good fortune was that I had got a good and loving wife like Nimra. I returned home very happily, went to my room and laid down. Nimra was busy offering namaz. My heart was filled with joy seeing her worshipping Allah. I said, "Nimra, my health is unrhythmic, make me a cup of tea." After offering ma, I was happy to say this, because for the last 2 years I used to do every small and big task myself. Mother had suffered an attack of paralysis and was confined to bed. Whenever my health got unrhythmic, I still had to work, even though I had hired a nurse for my mother and paid her a decent salary. My eyes were very sore. I fell asleep lying down like this. My eyes opened around 2 o'clock in the night. I'd become weak due to the intensity of hunger and thirst. I quickly sat up and saw that a 0 power bulb was turned on in the room, and my wife was busy worshipping. After taking a look at her, I came out of the room. I took food out of the refrigerator myself and started heating it. A strange feeling filled my heart as to why Nimra made tea for me, even though I had told her that I was unwell, but she did not care about me at all. I started thinking about Nimra while eating. It had been a week since our marriage. During this 1 week she didn't give me a chance to talk to her. She used to be busy praying all the time. I started thinking that maybe she was not happy with the marriage. After having dinner, my attention went towards mother because I heard sounds of pain coming from her room. I quickly went and sat near her and tried to talk to her. She pointed towards her leg. There was pain, and I started pressing that leg. I started asking my mother with excuses, "Mother, how is Nimra?" It was only a few days after my marriage, and I wanted to ask mother about her preferences. As soon as mother heard Nimra's name, she turned her face away. I could not understand her expression. I asked my question repeatedly and said, "Mother, isn't Nimra good? She takes care of you, right?" Mother shook her head from right to left. Mother's attitude had put me in a dilemma. Was Nimra ignoring me as well as mother before I could ask her anything else? Nimra entered mother's room. She started smiling while seeing me and said, "Today you got up early." I shook my head and said, "What are you doing here now?" She said, "At this time the weather becomes a little cold, so I press my mother's legs and cover her body with the blanket." Now I understood why mother was mad at Nimra. Maybe she was angry because Nimra was late in coming to her. Today I was feeling sleepy, so I got up and went to my room. When I opened my eyes in the morning, still Nimra was not in the room. I took a bath and got ready to go to work and came out. Nimra had already prepared breakfast, and now while sitting, she was putting porridge in mother's mouth very lovingly. I started thinking, if mother had her own daughter, even she would not have been able to take care of her like this. I was taking stock of Nimra's face. Only love and love was visible on her face. When she had finished feeding mother, she came and sat near me to know her inner condition. I said, "Nimra, you must also be saying that along with the husband, it has to be taking care of his sick mother also." Nimra suddenly said, "Allah forbid, Abdullah, that I should ever think such a thing about mother. Do you know that along with the rights of Allah on us, the rights of every Muslim on the other Muslim, along with hukuk Allah hukuk ibad, is also very important. Even there is no apology for hukuk ibad, then mother is a way of earning good deeds for me. Every good deed is needed after death. When I look at mother, I see a glittering ocean of goodness from which I can acquire as much success as I want. Hearing Nimra's words tears welled up in my eyes. I'd never thought of like this, though she was my mother. It was my duty to take care of her anyway. After that day I'd become careless about my mother. If there was any tension, then it was the only tension for Nimra. I just wanted Nimra to be mine. Although she was my wife, I wanted that when I step into the house she should leave everything behind and fall head over anything for me. I was afraid to say it out of my mouth because whenever I came home she was engrossed in prayer, and then I would tell from which angle that Nimra, you should stop worshipping when you come near me. However, I did not have that much courage, but deep inside I was a victim of deep confusion. After all, what kind of marriage was this? I had not even seen the face of my wife carefully till now. These circumstances had made me irritable, and when I came back from work, I felt very hungry. I said, Nimra, bring the food. She was very scared looking at me. I said, I have said something. I have asked for food from you, or I can take the food myself. She said, actually Abdullah, I have not cooked food yet. I wanted to get up reading Quran P completely today too. Sephra were left, and while reading that I did not realize about time, but alhamdulillah I have completed the holy Quran. I said, Nimra, perhaps you are forgetting that I your husband. It is your duty to serve me and have my heart. People marry so that there can be happiness in their lives, but I am trapped in this getting married to you. You never gave me peace for a single day. You never sat next to me and inquired about my well-being. You never asked me, Abdullah, how are you? If you were worried, then you were just worrying about the prayers and Quran. If you were so fond of worshipping, then why did you get married? You should have kept lying in a corner of the house praying, and despite not wanting to, these words came out of my mouth out of irritation. Nimra started crying after listening to my words. Then I realized the harshness of my tone. She said, while crying, Abdullah, I actually try to keep myself away from you by taking the help of prayers. I'm afraid that you might come close to me. I was stunned to hear these words of Nimra, and I said, Nimra, why do you want to stay away from me? When she moved forward, she showed me a mark on her hand. It was a black mark. Nimra said, this mark of mine was seen by an old man who said that the person to whom this girl will marry will die within 7 days. Mother was very sad to hear this. She became upset and fell at the feet of the old man and said, for the sake of Allah, please made a solution to this problem. Please find a solution to this problem. I do not want my daughter to sit at my doorstep all her life. Then the old man said, when you get married this girl, then advise her to stay away from her husband for 40 days and to stay busy in worshipping day and night. The more she worships, the sooner this misfortune in the girl's head will be destroyed. I was just afraid to tell you about this matter, that you will divorce me, thinking that I am unlucky. I laughed at Nimra's innocence. I said, Nimra, I don't believe in these things. Life and death are in the hands of Allah. You stayed away from me for so many days without any reason. Nimra got very nervous after hearing my words, and she said, Abdullah, you are the first man to come into my life. No one except you looked at me, nor did I raise my eyes at any non. You are my complete universe. I don't want to lose you because of my abomination. For Allah's sake, you stay away from me for 40 days. I had seen a lot of helplessness on Nimra's face, so I agreed. Her words, I had become extremely happy after listening to Nimra's words, and I felt shivers deep inside. I had started feeling that maybe my wife does not love me. That is why she stays away from me. Now I had become very relaxed. Now, whenever I saw her engrossed in worship, I felt immense love for her, because she was doing all this for me to save my life. Now many days had passed of our marriage. When I came and sat near Mother, she started looking here and there as if she was afraid of someone. Then she started pointing and said, Divorce Nimra. I was surprised to see this. I said, Mother, how can you say this? What kind of mother are you who wants to destroy my house? Then Mother told me with gestures that your wife does not take care of me. You bring my nurse back. Nimra also came to Mother's room. She was surprised to see me and said, Abdullah, when did you come here? I said, I have just come and sat here. Nimra also sat near us. Then mother lay down very comfortably whenever I went to my mother day or night, morning or evening. Nimra also used to come there after some time. The meaning of this thing was that she used to come to check on mother from time to time. Then I don't know why mother was saying all this. Even after that day I tried to talk to mother in this regard 2 or 3 times, but mother used to insist every time that I divorce Nimra and call my nurse near me. I had started getting angry at my mother. Now she wanted for her own benefit that her son's house should be destroyed. Then it should get destroyed, but for her comfort the nurse should come to her. I was not in favor of giving leave to the nurse, but on the 2nd day of the marriage Nimra had put this request before me that I should give leave to the nurse and she would take care of mother. I said, no Nimra, I don't want to burden you unnecessarily. The nurse is here, right? She will take care of mother. You will just take care of me. After listening to me, Nimra got very angry with me and said, I think you don't trust me at all. This is why you don't want to leave the nurse. I couldn't make the newlywed bride feel bad through myself, so I told the nurse not to come after today. Nimra was extremely happy. Then her attachment with her mother had also increased a lot. She considered mother as the key to goodness. Now if I ask her if I had told her that I wanted to hire a nurse again, then she would definitely get angry with me. One day when I came back from work, Nimra said, mother is not eating and she has kept her mouth tightly closed. Take her to the doctor. I got worried, so I quickly went to my mother. When I came to know the reason for not eating food, she explained to me with gestures that she will not eat food until I divorce my wife. I got very angry after listening to my mother. I said, if you don't eat food, then you do not have to get favors on me. I got up and went to the terrace. I quickly picked up mother's porridge and took it to her. Mother's eyes were flowing with tears. She gestured to me and said, son, bring back my nurse for me. I agreed, but I was afraid of Nimra's displeasure. I found a solution to this matter. I told Nimra that I called the doctor about mother's condition. He told me that he was sending one of his nurses to inquire about mother's condition. Nimra was stunned after listening to me, but said no problem. I was thankful in my heart that she did not create a ruckus. I went to the hospital and brought the nurse. I told the nurse to tell me every single thing about mother's illness. She shook her head and I left her at home and went to work. When I had just returned from work, I went straight to mother's room and said, sister, how is mother's condition now? She said, your mother's condition is very critical due to lack of cleanliness. Wounds have formed on her body. These wounds are very painful and it itches a lot, but you know your mother is paralyzed. Then think to yourself how she would tolerate all this. Abdullah Saib, if you cannot take care of your mother, then get her admitted in a hospital or send her to an old age home. Don't create hellfire for yourself. I started trembling after listening to nurse. Tears started flowing from my eyes. I quickly came out of the house and sat into my car and cried for an hour and asked for forgiveness from Allah for my negligence. When the tears became dried, I came back home. Nimra said, where have you gone? I lied that a friend's call had come, which I had gone out to listen to him. Nimra said, what report has the nurse given of mother? I said, sister was saying that because she was lying down, the patient's appetite has reduced and she needs physiotherapy. Hearing this, she became completely relieved. I told her that I had eaten food from outside. I just want to rest now. I lay down to sleep, but where the sleep had to come, I kept remembering nurse's words. I don't know what time of the night it was when my eyes had opened. With a jerk, I opened my eyes and saw that Nimra was taking out a black bag from the cupboard. After taking it out, she closed the cupboard quietly and went out of the room. I also sat up and came out of the room after some time. That after all where exactly my wife was going, I started following her with slow step too, but she was going to the terrace. I also quickly climbed on the roof. Then I was shocked to see the scene in front of. A boy was standing on the terrace. Nimra said, I've put all my jewelry and money etc. in this black bag. Now it has become difficult for me to stay here because 40 days of my marriage are going to pass, and now there is also a nurse in this house. I will not be able to meet you all. the time nor even at night. The nurse had complained today to my husband that I did not see your wife in the house. Throughout the day it is thankful that he did not know that I was on the roof with you. Let's run away from here. The boy said, yes, give me this bag. Before Nimrah handed over that bag to the boy, I quickly grabbed the bag from her hand. Nimrah was extremely scared after seeing me. She could not understand anything, so she started trying to get down from the roof by holding the same rope from where the boy had come, but the grip on the rope of her was not strong enough, due to which she fell down and her leg broke. I wanted to catch the boy, but he jumped down with amazing skill. I quickly got down and went to Nimrah and said, I am divorcing you. I gave divorce to Nimrah 3 times. Then I said, I want to make noise and gather all the people of Thek Olit and say, look how my wife fell down while running away from the house, and her lover also left her and ran away. She started crying. Then I said, tell me the truth, did you really have to do so much prayer, or did you have to do it in front of me? She started crying and said, if I was virtuous praying all time, then would I have done all this, whatever I have told you till date. I told you everything was lie. Actually, I loved Fahim and wanted to marry him, but your proposal came, so my parents made eyes with you. Fahim had told me to stay away from you if I didn't stay away from you, and you even tried to touch me so he would kill himself. So I stayed away from you from pretext of sometimes pretended to worship and sometimes pretended to be unfortunate, because I know that it is very easy to fool Muslims in the name of worship. Have ever seen a long line outside the house of the priests? That is only because they rob people by wearing the cloak of Islam. I also did the same. I laughed and said that the one who would give his life for you has left you in this condition and has run away. Then I took her to the hospital by taking her in the car and called her parents there. I said, Nimrah, from today onwards do not fool anyone in the name of Allah, because it is Allah who has veiled your faults. If Allah removes your veil in front of your parents, and if they know that their daughter cheated on her husband after marriage and continue to meet her lover, then think what will happen to you. Nimrah started crying after listening to me, and I came out of the hospital and started thinking that one should avoid people who appear too noble, because the one who is really noble, he does not show off his worshipping in front of people. Dear friends, how did you like this beautiful story? I hope you liked it very much. Give a like today's video. While going, an honor to hear similar incidents. Please become a part of our family by subscribing to our channel. Thank you. When my wife used to pray, my paralyzed mother used to say with gestures to divorce her mother's son.